Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. In today's video, we're going to be providing an update on Knightscope Incorporated. This is a company in the security space. They're also involved with autonomous robots and AI that we covered a couple of weeks ago on the channel, and I wanted to provide a deeper dive on some of their products and use cases for these various different autonomous services. Now, before we get into that, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. We just crossed the 43,000 subscriber milestone. We'd love to have you as part of the community. And finally, leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think of Knightscope if you're currently holding shares and your outlook for 2024. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's update. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be providing an update on Knightscope Incorporated, trades on the NASDAQ in the United States under the ticker KSCP. Now this is one we just covered recently on the channel. It received a ton of tremendous feedback. It really is positioned in a cool spot in terms of AI integration, security, autonomous robots, and ultimately winding all that stuff together to create autonomous security robots that are having a real, meaningful, and measurable impact on the security levels of companies that are harnessing the Knightscope products. Now, in today's video, we're going to dive into their investor presentation, give you guys a little bit of additional detail about Knightscope and some of the practical use cases for this company. So again, trades on the NASDAQ, currently trading hands for about 43 cents US, down 3.5% on the day, with a market cap in the range of about $44 million US. Now, if we jump over to the Knightscope corporate website, I'll leave this one linked in the video description below as well. You can see a very enthusiastic team really focused on reimagining public safety through the products that we're going to talk about in today's presentation. So Knightscope was launched back in 2013, so over a decade old now, by William Santana Lee. That's the CEO who we talked about in our last presentation. And unfortunately, this company was formed in response to the shootings that happened at Sandy Hook Elementary, the Boston bombings, and the attacks of 9/11. So a number of terrorist threats and attacks in the United States that ultimately weren't being addressed by the current security and policing practices that were already in place. Knightscope looked to harness advanced security technology based in Silicon Valley and building fully autonomous security robots that deter, detect, and report suspicious activity. Knightscope's mission is to make the United States of America the safest country in the world, which ultimately benefits the entire population and brings the potential to prevent some of these horrible tragedies we talked about a few sentences earlier. And the other thing I quickly wanted to point out is since their creation in 2013, Knightscope has really created a wide array of different autonomous products, including a long list of different robots with various purposes or target use cases. You can see interior, exterior detection, stationary units, along with the Knightscope Plus for remote monitoring, and a number of key detection services, including AGD, automated gunshot detection, various blue light towers, call boxes, and this is what we're actually going to look at in more detail as we move into the investor presentation. So this slide here does a great job of showing the full lineup of products in one image here, you guys. You can see the various different blue light stands, drone offerings, along with some of the call boxes and the autonomous robots themselves. Their long-term strategy is to network millions of autonomous machines, combining both current technologies and future technologies, offering a multifaceted, comprehensive approach to public safety. So you can imagine, just like other mesh networks, as you get more and more of these autonomous AI-driven bots or security bots in one location, you can start to interconnect them and use the data and information between these various different units. That's going to enhance technological capabilities by an order of magnitude, which will improve efficiency and response times, leveraging the power of AI for their advanced autonomous cooperation, while providing a scalable, cost-effective solution that can adapt to future challenges against those seeking to do harm to everyday Americans. So exactly what we talked about on the corporate website, using technology and cutting-edge ideas like artificial intelligence and autonomous robots to help protect Americans from those various different security threats. Now, to extenuate on their product portfolio even further, you can see they break it down into various different key units, including artificial intelligence, which is already being utilized autonomously to help detect for things like identified people, faces, and license plate numbers, with the goal or eventual end goal of these artificial intelligence robots to be able to see, feel, hear, smell, speak, and ultimately cooperate with one another. They then have their ASR portfolio, so they're autonomous security robots, which, as we alluded to in our last video, are generating a tremendous amount of data, equivalent to 90 terabytes of data each year, which is being digested by the Knightscope Security Operations Center, or KSOC. So again, integrating and using this data in a cooperative fashion between these various different technology touch points. They then have their K1B portfolio. So this is going to include all their towers, emergency phones, and call boxes. And finally, the detections vertical, again with things like automated gunshot detection, or AGD, which will immediately place a call to 911 dispatch and get additional help sent to the location. Now, this plays perfectly into Knightscope's future vision of the world itself, where robots will be everywhere and fully integrated in our society. As you can see in some of these visualizations with autonomous vehicles, robots, call stations, and detection devices, with a number of indoor applications as well. Now, if you start to do the math on some of these numbers, you can see between the various different verticals that Knightscope serves, including campuses, healthcare offices, casinos, commercial real estate, law enforcement, and manufacturing and logistics centers, you're looking at an estimated number in the neighborhood of about 1.8 million guards and officers. And using an estimated potential augmentation ratio with robots ranging from 2% on the low end or the near-term potential to 20% on the long-term potential, you're looking at anywhere from around 36,000 to 360,000 autonomous robots. So based on the estimated annual recurring revenue profile of these units, anywhere from about $4.1 to $41 billion, if Knightscope was able to replace all of the estimated officers or guards at these locations with the indicated 2 to 20% autonomous robot forecasts. And interestingly enough, you'll see by far the biggest opportunity here in terms of value is with law enforcement itself because of the number of officers that are currently on duty in the United States. And that's what really leads us to this slide here, talking about that machine as a service business model, the recurring revenue, the subscription-based service, which, as we discussed in our prior video, includes the deployment, the setup, the technology itself, service, Knightscope Plus, which is the optional remote security monitoring, and additional upgrades in terms of software and firmware in real time to help ensure you're on the cutting edge of technology. So obviously there's a lot of excitement on the horizon for Knightscope, but if we take a step back to where they're currently at here, you guys, you can see this is already a revenue generating company with over $30 million in lifetime revenue. You can see a tremendous growth between 2022 and 2023, jumping from $5.6 million worth of revenue up to 12.8. And Knightscope has actually provided a stretch target in terms of profitability for the fourth quarter of this year, which would be a huge catalyst in terms of future development for this organization. Now, in addition to that, they're also ramping up production on their all-new K1 Hemisphere and the 5th generation K5. So here's a picture of the K1 Hemisphere itself, which is directed for indoor and outdoor use, along with the K5 here, which is the outdoor autonomous robot, designed for such areas as corporate campuses, shopping malls, casinos, and things like airports or bus terminals. So continuing to push the envelope in terms of technology, which is ultimately fueling the growth, whether you're talking organic or through M&A acquisition activity for Knightscope in 2024 and beyond. So for those reasons, you guys, I'd be super interested to hear your thoughts on Knightscope in the comment section below. Again, this is a company that's blending the worlds of AI, autonomous robots, big data, and security in a really interesting and unique way. If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button. If you're not currently subscribed, feel free to join. And with that being said, we'll see you in the next video.